It's March 23rd, and as an intraday stock options trader, I do a written review of my trade of the day every day. So here it is, my trade of the day, Apple. I want to first and foremost apologize for any sound issues that may have come out of the last two videos. Realized that I was not using my microphone coming from my headset, so now that we got that fixed, and you guys can probably better hear my analysis and what I'm saying, let's jump right into it. Now, Apple is usually on my no trade list because I tend to get stopped out and I get whipsawed too much on this stock. But it showed so much strength yesterday that I felt obligated to look at it for a second day continuation play. Now, Apple also had some fresh news. It bought a fintech company. It announced some new products, it settled some disputes. The overall market has been lifting for 5 days straight, and it has carried Apple with it. And that being said, Apple was our trade of the day today. So that is the intraday. The technical analysis is Apple had a major support yesterday. We can also say 167.33 was a support that is intraday that it may have looked to touch below this pre-market low. On the slight gap down from the futures, the 168.50 technical level was a very key level that I was looking at for an entry, a possible entry. Now, that's the technical analysis. Let's jump into the play-by-play, how we actually traded Apple today. Now, at 9:41 on the, you can see here, on the higher low and close across the sloping VWAP and converging 21-day EMA, and my stop below the 168.50, I entered calls at this 168.86 level, and I actually went long 2 at 9:44 on this consolidation candle here, and as it held above this resistance, it in my mind had already turned support. It was showing a lot of strength in the fact that our buyers had large conviction and they were actually able to move the stock. I actually went long 3 and fully sized up for this move, given that the risk reward just felt like it was worth the trade to go full long 3. That is 3 contracts long. The opportunity I had to play this part of the trade was much better. If you watch my Neo trade from yesterday, you'll know that one of the things that I knew I could have done better is in a strong stock rallying into resistance. Sometimes it's okay to buy into resistance because therefore that resistance will turn into a good support that you can use as a trailing stop. So at 9:53, I went long in anticipation of a move to the intraday highs of 160.25 to 169.25 rather to 169.43. At 9:56, I trimmed 2. So this red arrow here, it was pretty much in the middle of this zone. It slowed down sort of in the middle as the candle was printing before it made another rally the 2/3 of the way, and I said I'm taking 2 out. I've gotten whipsawed on Apple too many times, and Apple has been on my trade list because I've gotten whipsawed too many times. So what did I do today? I wasn't afraid to take that trade. I wasn't afraid to buy into that resistance, but I also didn't hold through a reason to sell, and that reason to sell was a slowing on the tape and it being around a technical level where if it had the chance it would reverse and stop me out. So I trimmed. I held my core, essentially. Now, I went long 2 at 10 o'clock as the stock retested that intraday high area of 169.25, and I reloaded, and this was in anticipation of a long-term resistance, a move to a long-term resistance at 170.09. As the stock rallied off of that resistance turned support, I knew that my conviction was strengthened as the overall market began to rally, and my position had already begun to be in the money as we then wicked back and closed and began to rally past the high from yesterday. As we rallied past the high of day from yesterday, and we rallied past the open and the close from the previous 2 candles, I entered long 3. The rising volume on the next candle also gave increasing conviction that we would not reverse down and head back down to the 169.40 level, and that we would actually continue to that 170 level. At 10:07, I trimmed as I perceived on the tape there was extremely heavy selling pressure. As you can see on this next candle, that is a lot of volume. That is 66,000 volume done just in these 3 minutes, and it is it was that increasing changing of character through the end of this rally on this candle that made me trim an additional 2. Now this is why we reload, so that we can squeeze more out of these large moves. We sell here and wait for a possible consolidation, basically just repeating the pattern. Boom, 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 repeat. Boom, 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 repeat. And we were looking to repeat the pattern here for a move to a further intraday resistance at 172.21, but we trade what we see, not what we think. And so at 10:12, as the stock bounced off of this level here and moved past the close and the open and the close of the previous candle, I entered calls in anticipation of a run past these long-term resistances here, basically a repeat of what happened here, and a move of 172.21. I wanted to capture that move in case some capitulatory price action happened, such as what happened here yesterday. But you can see that it sold off on a top, and that's when I went flat at 10:18. Now this right here is why I love reading the tape, because this bearish engulfing, I guess you could say, is something that you would not see. It's like the hammer into the bearish engulfing is not something you would know until after the candle closed, after you were already, you're only 5 cents in the money there. As the stock wicked out and then opened and then tried to rally, it got to this 170.66 level, and I'm a Fibonacci nerd. So as it hit 170.66 and refused to move higher, I immediately sold. And I got filled at around the time as it was moving back towards this 170.60 open, and then it moved back down towards it basically formed its topping pattern. Now that was my trade of the day on Apple. The reason why it was my trade of the day is I had the awesome conviction to have total situational awareness of the overall market and what was going on to know that I wasn't going to get whipsawed and stopped out on Apple, which has a habit of doing that to traders on a small time frame. And I basically just rinse and repeated the same setup and printed a nice winner for the day. You can see Apple is continuing to. If I traded mid morning, I made my winners. I had some couple other trades on Bank of America. We traded Bank of America on this run up here. Neo, we traded Neo on this run down here. We actually traded Square on this breakdown here. By the time this happens, I'm not interested in really playing this. So my review today was just of this really nice clean run up that we did. And I hope you like it. And God bless you guys. We'll see you next time.